That belongs in a museum.
With no heal on your side. Yeah, it's a little bit dicey.
I like this into Dragon. That's good.
Would you play the Abusive Sergeant as well?
I think so. I mean, at this point you can definitely anticipate that the whelp will simply get killed. So a 2-1 is doing a good job. Good guess.
Thank you,
good guess, Frodan.
thank you. Yes!
Very spot on.
I read that a mile away, man. But yeah, you're right. It's all I'm good for, Lifecoach, if I have to be honest. Yeah, what does JJ do? He's got 10 damage over 2 turns. Does he just has to go for it, right? Play the Deadly Poison, the Eviscerate, or he doesn't have to play Eviscerate. He can play Gadget Stand first. But then you're also vulnerable to you're vulnerable to the fact that Gadget
is
Stand
it doing
draws
it
spells.
like if you poison and Eviscerate and goes face? Like Thijs has to draw something. Can this be? Thijs has to draw something,
no,
right? He's
he
one
has
off.
lethal.
No, what is
The
he?
fatigue.
Oh, fatigue.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Frodan. Thank you very much.
He's actually got exact lethal.
Perfect.
Huh. Which is really funny too, because let's say he wasn't fatigued and say he removed it.
Yeah, then it would have been completely
then
different,
it would have
right?
been very different scenario.
Then it would have been lethal, right?
Yeah.
Like the other way around.
Yeah, it's crazy. It ended up coming down to this last turn. But a very close game. You can see both players, the reactions to Ty's like, oh my goodness, so close, and JJ's frustrated.
Oh yeah.
It's still a tough the issue. Like if Tice can't respond to it, then
Yeah,
he'll be in a
but
good spot.
you don't really have. I mean, yes, you can conceal Cold Blood, but even if you would go down this route, we see a lot of taunts in Tai Shan, so he can simply opt in to play taunt, into taunt, into taunt, especially if it now gets zapped. Again, taunt. I mean,
Taunt takes your almost your entire mana though, so maybe JJ can get the damage in twice over with Cold Blood. So if he saps,
yeah.
Cold Blood does 7-8 damage.
So you mean like something like Pillager into Zap Cold Blood Prep Conceal? I mean,
your hand's kind of like being really aggressive, right?
Super mega all in.
Okay, I guess he's just choosing to kill off the Armor Smith. That's reasonable too.
I mean, if you go for the super aggressive play, it's also kind of weird, right? Because like, if you don't take care for the Armor Smith too, and if you go for the super aggressive play, that's a little bit more difficult. The taunts would also harm you more. But I mean, we will see. Perhaps he's doing the entire thing. So weapon here.
I like one Cold Blood, and then you keep the prep conceal.
But if he plays it like this, he needs to play prep conceal, right?
Well, then he can still have Gadget Zam be a potential out.
Because now even execute is like already problematic.
Yeah, we'll see. Execute Ravager Glow. It only leaves you with 3 mana though. If he had 1 more mana, I think he'd be in a pretty good spot.
Right,
right. He could use the Weaponsmith as well.
It's an interesting situation,
yeah. Okay, so Ty says, I'm definitely going to execute with the Ravaging Ghoul, so I guess I'd draw a card first before it to see if it changes anything. Well, he's also playing the Cairn, by the way, so it's a interesting thing that you commented about. Maybe they don't play Cairn.
Oh,
a second execute. Look at JJ's face. He's gonna throw his hands at the screen.
And that is when it gets exciting, right? I mean, this is insane. Like, just look at this now. Double execute GG. Yeah, so sick.
Yeah, that's the only combination of cards that that Tice could have with that mana that could deal with it.
And JJ,
he needs Gadget Stand Auctioneer.
And JJ is like, what the fuck? Why didn't I play the conceal?
As a backup.
No, sure, but if you think about it, I mean, like, if you don't play the conceal, in a lot of cases it will drain you the one or the other damage you would need to set up lethal, because I would assume that if warrior can handle one of your minions, any one of your minions, you don't have enough resources to push for lethal. Whereas drawing the auctioneer is like 10%. Yeah. So yes, of course, if you would know that next turn you draw the auctioneer, you would always preserve the preparation and the conceal. But then again, you don't know what you draw, which means you have a bare 10%, perhaps 9%, perhaps 11% to draw the auctioneer within one hand or within one card. But chances that you will have the time to survive another 2 turns is rather low. Which means even if you would happen to draw the auctioneer now, for example, it could be not fast enough.
I understood all of that, Lifecoach. I promise you. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Sorry about that.
It's yeah. I think hopefully I'm summarizing this correctly. It was a higher chance for him to win if he went for that prep conceal than it was for the gadget sim.
Yeah, that's long story
Okay.
short. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Frodan.
And second conceal just to rub it in there, as JJ is toasty toast. I mean, he's not dead on board. I mean, it's only 4 power. Maybe he passes and waits for another gadget sim. But I think he just takes the faster way right here and just concedes. He knows that he's too far behind to climb back, even if he picked up the gadget next to him.